It looks and sounds like a combat zone. This is electronic violence, a chance for a person to shoot, bomb, and smash his way into a fantasy world of scary proportions. These games swallowed 20 billion quarters last year and probably consumed just as many minutes in the lives of the people who played them. Most video game players are teenage boys, an adventure for most, an obsession for others.
I've been playing since I was a little kid, since about 5 years old, since they first came out.
How important are they to you?
I'm playing almost every day. It's starting to be an obsession, really.
But all of this is still just a fancy application of Thomas Edison's light bulb. Electronic genius for sure, but just wires, lights, and microprocessors.
Fired in here. Translating technology into personality is what video games is all about. It's more than silicone discs and computer chips. It's electronic art. And to find out what type of person can devise this and how they do it, we went to Sunnyvale, California. Better work on your fastball.
Northern California is the home of Atari, the world's largest provider of video games. You might expect a company that makes Space Invaders to have buildings that look like castles, but it's all rather drab in appearance. 10,000 people work in 47 buildings scattered over several miles.
Basically, we no longer are in a seasonal type business. The product manufacturing cycles are going at full bore. I would say for the past year and a half, we have been doubling and tripling our outputs just to keep up with the demands.
There would be no production line without a product. Atari's engineers worked 2 years to create the computer circuitry needed before this maze can come to life as a game. What you are seeing are the stages in developing a fingernail-sized computer that 15 years ago would have been as big as your living room. Once the computer circuitry is designed, it will come to life in the hands of people like Jerome Domerat. He's a graphics animator, and here he's working to improve a game called Breakout.
See, on the current game, when the ball comes up and hits the brick, it just disappears. We're going to add an animation sequence in there and have the brick dissolve out. And this is to get a feel for the steps in the animation of dissolving that brick, how we want it to come out. Because there are 1,000 different ways, in a sense, that we could animate that brick disappearing.
This is a strange blend of talents, the challenge of making art fit the limitations of technology.
The main thing here was in trying to get the feel of the pitch and the wind up. There are certain things that occur body motion-wise we were trying to capture there. Once I get the sequence on paper, then I have to look at it and say, you know, well, ideally it could be 20 steps long and that would be a smooth motion, but within the hardware I have to make it 4 and then, you know, start chopping from there.
Tomorrow, a closer look at the creative force behind these games and a sneak preview of the newest entry in the market set for debut this spring. John Kalia, News 8, Sunnyvale, California.
Creating more realism is the biggest challenge facing video game manufacturers today. Players don't want to just participate, they want to be the game. They want to be so immersed in the action that it's not just entertaining, it's nearly life-threatening.
It may be a while before you can climb inside a video game, but the time will come. For now, the challenge is Galaxians, a game being developed by Atari, the world's largest maker of video games. Galaxians, the big hope for Atari, will be used in a new home computer. You won't see this until the spring, but while at Atari's plant, we were given a rare glimpse of programmer Joe Tung working out last-minute problems.
There's a time when 3 ships peel off at once, and I was changing that so that they would peel off together for a certain selection of the game. But it's not working. One of them peels off and flies around, so I had to fix that. Sometimes when those guys peel off, they're supposed to fly together. Like, see, right now they'll fly together, but the modification I made before caused these to split apart, and one does a random maneuver that wasn't supposed to do.
A few minutes later, Tung finds the solution to his problem.
See, they peel off together right now, you see. Oops. But before, they peeled off and then they flew around and then they... It wasn't doing exactly the right thing.
Joe Tung is one of 18 programmers at Atari. Most are men, all are young, and work under the direction of former San Diegan George Kish. But working for him and being seen are two different things for a programmer.
Are there any time clocks here at Atari?
If there are, these guys have never seen one, don't know how to work one. That's about the only machinery they don't know how to work around here. Once they are up to speed and they can work independently, they are on their own. They're given a deadline, they meet that deadline. If they don't want to be here at 8 to 5, 9 to 5, whatever, they come whenever they want. They have to use the lab facility sometime, but anything else they can do at home, on the beach, on the ski slopes, wherever.
In another part of the building, while interviewing programmer Suki Lee, we suddenly heard the sound of a whip cracking.
Going to create something.
The bullwhip belongs to another programmer who offers his version of what R&D, research and development, means.
This is what they call research and discipline in Silicon Valley, because you never know when people are going to come in and try and steal your trade secrets.
These are unusual people, creative but susceptible to burnout.
We give them a week off after they release a cartridge, just as compensation for all the hard work they put in. Most of the hard work comes in the last few weeks, last few days, when their deadline comes up. So they do get burned out.
A programmer's salary here is about $35,000 a year, but royalties from successful games can triple that. And these are the people who determine that success.
How much money will you bring on an average week?
Probably $15.
Around $2 each week.
Twice a week. Come here and play after work. I work for Sunday or Federal.
Very, play it every day, every day.
About how much a week?
40.
What do your parents think of it?
They think it's a waste of money.
I'd say I'm probably just about the worst case you can find. I'm up here every day, go to every pinball arcade in the city just about.
What do your folks say about this?
Oh, they don't say much because I get all A's in school.
Tomorrow, our final report, including a ride in the world's only starfighter video game, and answers to what some say is the evil influence of video games. John Kalia, News 8, Sunnyvale, California.
Okay, you can give me a start now.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. We've gone for main engine start. We have main engine start.
You're inside Atari's Starfighter Command video game, the only one of its kind. This was built for a recent show in Las Vegas. Sherman Kennedy is our engineer pilot. It's this kind of idea that comes from the Director of Advanced Products for Atari, the world's largest maker of video games. Meet 31-year-old Harry Jenkins, a man with vision.
We're going to see perhaps video games that are multiplayer games, people playing together as teams more. You're going to see a lot of exciting stuff coming in big production video games, I'd say, in the next few years.
Jenkins has heard the doomsday outcry of video game influence on young people and has seen some communities ban the games in public.
What evil things are you planning for society? How do you look at that?
Oh, I don't really consider those things evil things. I think on all the things that are manufactured in the United States, fun and games has got to be one of the least evil of them all. Very interesting cultural thing is going on with computer equipment of all types, be it home computers or coin-operated video games. It's the kids that are most turned on to it, and the younger the kid, the more involved in it, the more casual they are with the technology. And I think there's a real sort of role reversal going on. Video games are one of the few pursuits in life where the kid is often much better at it than the parent is. And I think the children and the young adults really understand what's going on with technology and are comfortable with it, whereas the adults really are not too comfortable with it. It's a challenge. And it comes along probably every 3 or 4 generations that there's something new in the culture that challenges the status quo.
The kids just come here after school, and it's not hurting anybody, really. It's a good way to keep them out of trouble, and they're totally exaggerating what they're saying is wrong with it.
It seems that video games are here to stay if one thing happens. Manufacturers have got to stay one step ahead of the people who play the games. These people want
free games, more matches. Only the pinball games have matches and none of the electronic games do.
Have them a little bit more detailed, have it a little bit harder.
I'd like to see a lot more table games. Maybe something a little bit more complex.
The assembly lines keep moving, and in time they will produce video games geared more to educational concepts, which is one area Atari did not allow us to photograph. But right now, the thrust is purely for entertainment, escapism, the chance to brush back your hair, take command, and go to war with something or someone. It's a call to arms, and video game makers are supplying the electronic weapons. John Kalia, News 8.